Andy needs to go to work. He's committed to it. Be a man, work and listen to talkSPORT. It's better on the radio anyway. I make you right on that last point, Kane. Absolutely. A couple more texts coming in. No name on this one. The Argentina team is engineered to make sure the ball gets to Messi to do something or finish. They all wear different colour boots to him. Stop the ball getting to Messi. You stop Argentina. Absolutely right. I imagine that's something that Thomas Tuchel is telling the boys. And then finally, great text. No name again. Why are we worried? Look at our midfield, man for man. Bellingham versus McAllister. Rice versus Enzo. Anderson versus Paredes. We will bully them. Rory Jennings, you say that games are won in the midfield. I think that the texture here makes a pretty good point, mate.
Yeah, I think we beat Argentina. I do. I wouldn't be surprised for us to not win. I think it's more close than some people think. But equally, if we get it right, I think we can smash them.
Yeah.
The problem that I think we have is that they do something incredible, and it's something that I admire. And I see Argentina as a rival. On some level, actually, I see Argentina as our biggest rival. I really do. I never want them to win. I found it weird. You know the final three and a half years ago when they were playing France. I found it very weird that I feel like the general consensus among England fans was that they wanted Argentina to win that game. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I see Argentina.
Well, you're a partisan man, to be fair, though.
I'm very. If there's one thing,
and I love that about you, mate.
I'm very tribal. And no, I see Argentina as our biggest rival. I think we can get it right, but where Argentina are so dangerous, it's their patriotism. It's that whatever you think of Christian,
strength of feeling.
It's the strength of feeling. It's the desperation to win. If it comes down to without going really basic and talking cliche, but if it comes down to who wants it more, if the teams are so finely poised, there's a Rizzler paper between England and Argentina, and it comes down to who wants it more. I worry that the desperation on Enzo Fernandez's face, the desperation for Christian Romero, the desperation for all of that team to get through and find a way.
I know what you mean.
It's going to be more than ours.
Can I counter it though, just by reminding you, and I know you know this, Jude Bellingham is desperate.
Yes.
Jude Bellingham, amongst being a world-class player, and anyone says he's not world-class doesn't know football, Jude Bellingham is a passion merchant.
Yeah, agreed.
And he's dragging this team up. And Harry Kane, I think is incredibly passionate,
yeah.
But he just demonstrates it in a different way. And what I love about Harry Kane, and I say this all the time, he's never on the front pages. There's never a controversy. He's humble. He's a normal bloke from North London. And I love the fact that he just is who he is. And so he doesn't need to have this bravado. He doesn't need to have this swagger. He's the best striker on the planet without it. So we've got Harry Kane, Declan Rice as well, who I believe is sort of fit and firing again. He's going to be ready to start. So I think we've got that. And what we need is for the fans to demonstrate that. And I've got the travelling England fans are the best.
I'll tell you what I mean. No, but their support is, generally speaking, look, when I've followed England over various continents, generally speaking, we dominate in stadiums. You see that there'll always be an end totally decorated in flags. Invariably, you'll see Forest, you'll see Portsmouth, you'll see Chelsea. You will see the same flags everywhere because that's what we do. That isn't necessarily true with regard to Argentina. They travel to a ridiculous level. Like they travel. I couldn't believe how many of them were in Qatar. Bearing in mind that the ag of getting from Argentina to Qatar. I actually went to Brazil. I know it's a very easy trip for them. But I saw more Argentines in Brazil than I saw Brazil fans. Like they kind of all parked in trailers, all down to Copacabana. And anytime you went out for any of those beaches, Copacabana Beach, Ipanema Beach, it's just Argentines.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Well, look,
they're doing that song where they go over and over with the verse after verse. So they do have support. And I just think that the way that you view Enzo Fernandez, you're someone who watches Premier League football week in, week out.
Yeah.
You know what Enzo Fernandez's attributes are and you know what his limitations are. I just think he's going to be a completely different beast in an Argentine shirt.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I've got Argentinian family. I've been to Argentina so many times. I absolutely love the country. But crikey Moses, I've been to a Boca Juniors match, I've been to a River Plate match. It is something else.
Yeah.
The noise is different. The feeling's different. So it is going to, tomorrow night, it's just going to be so tasty. Live on talkSPORT, 8 p.m. kickoff. Build up much earlier. We're heading straight back to the phone lines now. Patrick, the United fan. Patrick, good evening, mate. Thanks for calling in. Talk to us. What do you want to say?
I just want to say I've been listening for the last 45 minutes since you come online after coming home, and I cannot believe the arrogance of every single caller and you boys thinking you're just going to stroll past Argentina, or as Rory says, smash them.
Smash
them. You know what I mean? And you're already thinking about you're going to be playing. Would you rather play Spain or France in the final? Like one of the callers earlier on, he was going on about, oh, should Argentina haven't played anyone? Should they play Jordan and they struggled past Egypt? England, they drew with Ghana and they scraped past Congo
and one in the Azteca and knocked
Chief
Ireland out.
Superintendent of the Fun Police. Can I not remind you that Argentina took extra time to get past Cape Verde, mate?
Tell me one world-class player for Mexico.
It's not the point. It's the occasion. It's the occasion. It's the occasion. It's not about world-class players. It's about the occasion.
Wait. Tell me one. Wait. Just listen for a second, Patrick. You've had your say. Tell me one world-class player that plays for Cape Verde. Tell me one class player that plays for Jordan or for Austria or for Switzerland. All the teams that Argentina have faced, they've had the easiest run and the easiest bracket, and in my opinion, have been given a couple of favours from VAR, right? As in they've come on the end of some beneficial calls. That Egypt goal should never have been chalked off.
What about the goal? What about the goal that England, that Norway scored? Do you know what I mean? When it was disallowed for the foul and
What you mean because of the foul? Because Haaland decides to try and launch Elliot Anderson into the stands.
He fell over.
Why did he fall over?
And then also, you're talking about the Azteca. All I heard is about the humidity and all this. They don't even have a decent player in Mexico. If England with the rankings, if they can't be beating Mexico, you might as well have just packed up and gone home.
We did, mate. We did. The game was never in jeopardy. We went 2-0 up in the Azteca.
You called up, Patrick, and you've had a go at us for having a hypothetical conversation about who England might play, which we did heavily caveat with the fact.
No, I'm having a go.
I'll just finish what I was saying a second, Patrick. You called us up and you had a go at us about hypothetical conversations, and now you're having a hypothetical conversation about the fact what if we'd have lost to Mexico.
Who do you support, Patrick?
In terms, I'm for Man United.
You support Man United, and what country-wise?
I'm Irish.
Is that what this is? Are you were you born the last time you made it to a tournament?
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah.
What tournament? What, the Nations League?
That's not the point.
You've got to be desperate for them to make this a 64 tournament World Cup. You might have a chance of making it.
It's the arrogance. We don't have the players. We know that. We're not competing against England or anyone else. We don't have the players. This is not 20 years ago.
No, you competing against the Czech Republic, weren't you?
Yeah,
How'd that go? Remind me how that went.
This is not the point. I'm talking about your arrogance that you think you're.
There's no arrogance. We're talking about beating Mexico in Mexico, which is significant.
And it's a fact.
You're talking about smashing Argentina.
Yeah, it's not arrogant. It's my opinion.
No, but it is, and every person's come in, and you're already talking about who you'd rather play Spain.
All right, sorry, Patrick. We'll not have conversations about potential things that can happen in the future. We'll only talk about the next game. How can we do a 3-hour show and only talk about tactics against Argentina?
Do you think Thomas Tuchel's actually thinking about the final or playing France or
we're
Spain,
not Tommy Tuchel, are we? We're not Tommy Tuchel. We're on talkSPORT where we talk about sport.
Patrick, what's your plans tomorrow night? You got anything on? Anything happening tomorrow night, mate?
Do you think England have been great?
No.
At various points, I think there's been moments of greatness. Yeah, I think winning in the Azteca. I think the second half performance against Croatia.
Okay, against a team with not actually two Premier League players.
What does it matter how many players play in the Premier League?
Price of bread.
Well, as in terms of how many so-called world-class players have England got versus Mexico, Can
you not see that the difficulty in playing Mexico is the occasion, playing away from home in a World Cup?
Well, as in terms of you could play them in, it doesn't matter. But are you telling me that squad player for squad player, England don't have better players?
England were a better team on the pitch. The jeopardy of that game came around the circumstance. The jeopardy, of course, we should be beating Mexico, but that doesn't. We should have been beating Iceland, but we didn't. But we should because whether you should or shouldn't doesn't mean that it happens. We've seen England countless times before lose games where we should have won. This was one where we should have potentially struggled, and we absolutely dominated.
We also had 10 men for 40 minutes as well. I'll just remind you, Patrick.
We went 2-0 up in the Azteca. It's a big result. You can't possibly be sneery towards that result. You can't be.
Yeah, I definitely can, because Mexico could have played there all night against 10 men, and England.
Exactly, because our tactics, because our players played out of their skin. Patrick, what are you doing tomorrow night? What's your plans?
Yeah, I'll watch the game. I'll watch the England game.
So who are you going to be supporting?
I'll support Argentina.
See you, mate. That was Patrick, who has no idea about football or what it means to support your country. You're listening to the Sports Bar. Get your calls coming in 03717 22 3344.